40%. Monday, partly cloudy. A chance of showers in the afternoon. Highs in the lower 60s. Chance of rain 40%. Monday night, partly cloudy. A chance of showers in the evening. Lows in the mid-40s. Chance of rain 40%. Tuesday, partly cloudy. A chance of showers in the afternoon. Highs in the lower 60s. Chance of rain 30%. Tuesday night, partly cloudy. A chance of showers in the evening. Cold with lows in the lower 40s. Chance of rain 30%. Wednesday, partly cloudy. Highs around 60. The Mansfield, Ohio climate summary for this evening is at 5:15 p.m. September 21st, 2022. Today's high temperature was 86 degrees. The normal high is 73. The record high is 91 degrees, which was set in 1931.
Alrighty, my friends, what is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another severe weather coverage live stream here for today. I am your host, Andrew Heischman, and I hope everyone is having a wonderful day here for today on this absolute beautiful Wednesday evening here. So once again, my friends, thank you all for joining us here for today. So first off the bat, let me actually turn down the weather radio a little bit. But first off the bat, I want to go ahead and give a big thanks to Proxy again for donating, and as soon as I said that, Proxy just donated again. Proxy, thank you so much for that. Obviously, a huge shout out goes to Proxy for that. Wow, crazy. Thank you so much, Proxy, as well as Daniel for becoming a Category 2 member. Thank you so much for that. Greatly appreciate it. But yeah, big shout out goes to you, Proxy. Literally, since the stream has started, you've already donated $100. Definitely greatly appreciated. Thank you absolutely so much here. So, let's go ahead and go. So you go, it's starting to pop up now. Time for the stream. It says Proxy. Let's see what's on the weather menu for tonight with Chief Meteorologist Andrew. Well, glad to have you here, Proxy. Once again, thank you so much for that. That's greatly appreciated and very generous of you. So, let's go ahead and jump on into it, my friends. You will notice that we don't have our main program up or our other program up on the far left-hand side. For some reason, decided it wanted to basically, it decided to basically just want to give out to me on today, or give out on me today. I think there might be some problem with the data feed and stuff like that. But anyway, so in regard to things, though, that is kind of what we are talking about here. Let's go ahead and see who is here first of all. We have ourselves Crystal saying, hey, y'all, what's up? Hope you're doing good, Crystal. Lillian's here as well. Let's see here. Michael Moody's here. Michael, did you ever get your package? Did you ever get that yet? I mean, it's been a long time since... but anyways, let's go see Haley, as well as you, Proxy. Have you gotten your package yet either, in regard to your merch and stuff like that? Let me know. It'd be definitely greatly appreciated. But anyways, thank you all so much for being here for today. We got ourselves a bit of severe weather to cover. First of all, we have ourselves a pretty large risk here today. Across portions of the Ohio Valley into portions here of the Northeast. This is something we got to really watch out here for. Definitely something we are going to keep an eye on here for a few hours today. I'm only planning to be live here for about 3 hours because... unfortunately, my girlfriend leaves here tomorrow, and I want to spend as much time as possible, but I also want to give you guys some coverage in regard to what's going on with this event here. We're just now starting to see a little bit of thunderstorms starting to kind of fire off here for the most part. I mean, honestly, as of now, nothing too crazy is happening. But here's the thing. According to the models, as this cold front does sweep its way down the region, obviously that's kind of what we're looking at there, but as this thing does sweep its way down here, basically to the southeast, this is going to really start to spark up some more thunderstorms here by tonight, possibly delivering. I mean, all types of hazards indeed could be a possibility, from tornadoes to large hail to even damaging winds. Now, something I do want to go ahead and show you guys, Proxy, listen up for this. I remember you were saying you're right there in basically northeastern Ohio, so our tornado probability has gotten updated. Okay, so here's the crazy part. Earlier today, it was actually a 5% risk here, but now they just updated it. Now it's a 2% risk, and it got shrunk. So that's actually good news. I'm actually just now starting to see that. It does appear, though, we are starting to see a bit of action. Basically a bit of, thunderstorm action. That's actually really starting to kind of kick off across the way here. Basically across portions of southern Indiana, as well as just north of the Cincinnati area. Now, these guys are not severe, but they are definitely starting to kick off here. So, this is associated with that cold front that is indeed swiping its way through the region. But anyway, so tornado threat for today does include portions of Pennsylvania now, as well as portions here of New York, and a small eastern portion here of Ohio. So, but here you go. Proxy for you specifically. Apparently that tornado risk is now away from you. Although, damaging hail is still a possibility, not the biggest concern, but your main concern here is actually damaging winds. So watch out for that, as some of these wind gusts could get up to maybe 60 to 70 miles per hour out of some of those storms. But anyway, so that's kind of what's going on there. But still, we'll just keep an eye on it. Obviously, we are going to keep on watching that. The storms are a little bit late to firing off here today. According to some of these models, we're actually going to go ahead and pull up here right now. We are going to actually, pull this up here in the latest HRRR model. I do want to go ahead and discuss, what the latest verdict is in regard to the models and stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and switch on over here to our models page. We're going to take a look and see what's going on here. So we're going to bring this back just a little bit. So the time is in the top right if you guys do want to follow along here. Obviously, like I said, we're watching for those storms to fire off across portions of Ohio. But here's the thing. So time currently as of now is 7 o'clock. So it's basically for 8 o'clock we're seeing right here, 7 to 8. Now, according to this model, it really now doesn't really show too much happening until like the after pretty much like the near the midnight hours, I should say. But honestly, that's kind of one model though. We should pull up some other models. We'll take a look at the NAM 3-kilometer model. Now, honestly, it seems like each model that's been coming out here seems like it's pushing out in advance. This could be a sign that this event might be kind of busting here. Now the conditions are there. Yeah, latest model, honestly, kind of just showing those storms here in the northeast. Let's actually double check on this here. So in regard to what is going on across portions here of the northeast, yeah, you can actually kind of see there that line of storms moving its way into portions of New York by 7 o'clock, which according to this model that came out earlier this afternoon, should already be in New York. Now let's go ahead and double check and see if that's actually the case here. Like I said, this is a prime example of the fact that models are not perfect. Now, you might think these are storms, but they're actually not. That's not storm action at all. So, anyway, so that's definitely good news. I mean, nothing really kicking off, but I do want to mention, yeah, you're going to notice a little bit of craziness actually happening here across portions of the Utah and the portions of Idaho area. I mean, look at this. We actually are watching not one, but 2 severe thunderstorm watches that is in effect across these areas here. So that's definitely something we're going to keep an eye here for. But in regard to the impacts here, there is no tornado threat, which is definitely good. Just going to turn on these warnings here. But there is no tornado threat, which is actually good. Although there is the possibility for some hail, a 5% risk here for some hail. Basically, a pretty low chance of seeing some hail across portions of Utah into Idaho. But there's a chance there. Some of these storms could produce maybe some hail up to quarter size. Which, honestly, this event's kind of underplaying. I mean, honestly, as what we're seeing right now, it looks like it's underplaying for the most part, which is obviously great news. I mean, we want to see these events underplay. We don't want to see them play out to expectations. But, honestly, that's kind of what we are looking at there. But in regard to the damaging winds, that's kind of the reason why we have a lot of these. It's the reason why we have a watch in place here, actually. Is mostly because of the damaging wind possibilities. 15% risk across the areas here in yellow. Basically, 15% chance here of seeing some damaging wind gusts, maybe up to 60 to 70 miles per hour for the most part. But other than that, y'all, I mean, honestly, it's really not doing anything too crazy as of now. Let's hope it stays that way. Obviously, it's past, sunset's going to be starting to happen here in a little bit across portions of the eastern United States. As of the moment, as of right now, where the sun is currently at, I'm actually going to go ahead and pull up the... I do want to actually pull up the satellite view here for you guys. We'll take a look here back towards the states. But let's go ahead and take a look here what the sun's currently at. Now, obviously, with the sun going down, obviously in some cases does not help the thunderstorms by any means. But here we go. So we're going to go ahead and switch on over here. There's actually something I really want to show you guys here. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on back here to my main screen. Just to kind of show you guys what's currently happening here. So this is the satellite imagery. Obviously, the sun's starting to go down on the eastern United States as of now. It's definitely getting a lot more dark. I'm here in Kentucky. It's still a little bit light outside, but it's not quite there yet. But look at that. Right there over there, just east of Florida. That is Hurricane Fiona. Now is a powerful Category 4 storm last time I checked. Let's see here. So we're going to pull up the National Hurricane Center, actually, just to do a... that's way too zoomed in. We're going to take a look here at Fiona. Latest advisory has this thing, still clocking in at a whopping 130 mile per hour sustained winds, which I believe that's right there at beginning of Category 4. Now, there is some new information regarding this that I do want to mention. Is actually Bermuda The dark blue, that's actually tropical storm warnings. So at this point, we are seeing tropical storm force characteristics is expected. We are seeing tropical storm force conditions expected here. This thing is going to definitely be bringing some pretty nasty conditions. And the pink that's surrounding it is actually a hurricane watch. As you can see right here, honestly, it's definitely a very big possibility that we could see, honestly, maybe even some, hurricane conditions in regard to Bermuda down the line. Now, Bermuda not too long ago did get impacted by, Earl. Yeah, Earl actually swiped on the eastern side of Bermuda, delivering a little bit of tropical storm force conditions, kind of lower level tropical storm force conditions. Now, unfortunately, I don't think the Fiona is going to be playing out as nice as Earl did, because this system actually does have some pretty nasty potentials on it. Now, in regard to things, though, we are having this cold front, as mentioned before, drive its way down across the country. This is basically going to help prevent this thing from steering anywhere towards the states. I'm not saying that's not what's going to happen. The air is basically blasting the system back out to sea. So obviously, like I said, Bermuda's got to watch out for it. It does not appear that a direct landfall on Bermuda is a thing, although it does look like, in regard to this, now we might actually see this system just track its way just to the west. Now, obviously, there's a lot more agreement in the models today. Definitely is looking a lot better in regard to things. I mean, you can actually look at right now, the closer the models are together, so your hurricane spaghetti plot, you can actually see they're relatively close together. Yeah, Bermuda is that little speck you see right there. So it is definitely some good news. Most of the models are tracking just west here of Bermuda, but that's kind of bad news, obviously, for Bermuda. The right-hand side of the storm is usually the most destructive, as it has stronger winds, a lot more of that violent thunderstorm activity, and honestly the possibility for a few tornadoes could also happen on the right-hand side of the cyclone there. So obviously a few cyclone-induced tornadoes could happen near Bermuda. Now, since Bermuda's mass is so small, the chances of one of those tornadoes actually moving into portions of Bermuda is actually very, very low. So I'm not really too concerned on that. I'm more concerned with that hurricane force winds, obviously higher seas and all kinds of trouble like that. So, but anyway, so that's something we're just definitely going to have to watch out here for. In regard to intensity, you can actually see the latest information here. Actually currently showing that we do indeed have this thing that's basically kind of holding its strength and then very much quickly crashing as it tracks its way up here more to the north, basically more running into more wind shear, as well as basically running into cooler waters. And once it does that, then obviously this thing is going to quickly start to die down and quickly start to kind of diminish there. But anyways, we're getting right now, it's a powerful Category 4 hurricane that's currently right now, this is actually the first. I mean, look at that thing. This is actually the first Category 4 hurricane of the season here in the Atlantic. The highest one previous, I believe, was a Category 3. That being, wasn't Earl a Category 3, if I'm not mistaken? But look at this beast. I mean, this thing's absolutely nuts. That eye has been struggling to keep its shape here, but over the last few scans, it's definitely coming back here. But regardless, yeah, this is definitely a pretty beefy system. I mean, this guy is not something you want to mess with. Pulling away now from the the Bahama Islands here for the most part, well far away off the shore now. And obviously this could still be causing some swelling across some of the regions here. I mean, obviously we are seeing some pretty violent counterclockwise rotation that's blowing the winds against the coastlines here, which is obviously causing some problems. So that's something we're definitely watching out here for in regard to things. Now, in regard to the future models projected by this, we might not have to look at this here because obviously this site's been pretty slow today. It's not my internet. I think it's just the actual the site here. But anyway, so we're gonna try to see if we can load in some frames here. It looks like it's doing a little bit better. But I mean, seriously, yeah, we're seeing the pressure here very, very low. Currently at the moment, we'll actually look at that here in a second. So obviously we track our way down here in time. This thing will be approaching closer towards portions of Bermuda. Like I said, Bermuda. Obviously Bermuda has got to watch out for this here very, very closely. Give it a little bit more. So obviously the time is right here. If you guys want to follow along, this is in Eastern time, by the way. So 2 o'clock p.m. for September 22nd. That basically being tomorrow afternoon there. This system is going to start approaching. You can see what I mean, how it's really slow. It's not really wanting to load any of these tiles. That's the site. Their server is being stupid today, so honestly we can't really look too much at that. But we're getting closer. We're definitely getting a little bit closer. There we go. So obviously now we're starting to get some data coming through here. But for the most part, like I was saying, this thing is expected just to track its way to the west here of Bermuda for the most part. Obviously, really getting engulfed with that cold front that's actually driving its way through the region. It's basically going to be sucked in into portions of eastern Canada. So that's kind of something we are watching out for. So, but anyway, so that's what's going on in regard to the models here as of right now. Like I said, the site's being a little bit slow for right now. But anyway, so that's kind of what is currently going on here. I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and restart the... we're going to go ahead and restart my program here because apparently we have some warnings that's in place here. It's either my counter that's acting up or it's my program. But anyways, regardless though, we are currently watching a little bit of action that's currently going on here at the moment. Let's go ahead and move on over here to my other screen, you guys. We'll take a look and see what's going on here. So like I said, we're watching 2 areas today. We do have 2 active severe thunderstorm watches across portions here of Idaho and 2 portions of Utah. It's far down south of St. George. So Megan, I don't know if you're here or not, but if you are, I remember that you are in St. George. And obviously we are seeing a bit of cell action. You know, just to the east. That kind of looks like a little bit of rotation. You know, obviously, it looks like a little hook echo. You all see that? Now, let's actually pull up velocity here. It doesn't really look like much of anything's happening inside that cell. But anyways, regardless, though, that's actually kind of interesting to look at. Yeah, so some pretty strong, kind of discrete cells is actually currently kicking off here. Like I said, Orderville. But I say Odor, no one would live in Orderville. Anyways, so yeah, Orderville, currently seeing a pretty nasty storm. This guy's not currently severe. Yeah, I think my program's just having it right now. But anyways, but like I was saying, you know, that is kind of what we are actively watching here. So obviously, yeah, so severe storms is, you know, expected to continue across a lot of these regions here over the next little bit. Let's go and see. Caden wants to know, could any severe weather happen in northeastern Ohio? So yes, you guys are currently under a risk here for severe weather. Obviously, definitely being a possibility. Like I said, especially towards like Cleveland, you guys are currently in a slight risk here. Mostly for damaging wind gusts. I mean, obviously that's kind of the main concern, expecting some damaging winds, maybe up to 60 to 70 miles per hour at worst. The possibility also of maybe a few isolated hail events. Now, here in portions of eastern Ohio, if we take a look here at the overall risk, we actually do have the tornado possibility here across portions of the east. Obviously, just directly east of Cleveland for now. But anyway, so this actually extends all the way up into portions here of New York. So that's kind of what we are watching here. Let's go ahead and see here. Jenny says, hello, what's up? Let's see, Caden says, honestly, I don't see any severe weather happening tonight. Kind of pointless. You know, honestly, I think this is a busting event, honestly, which is good. I mean, obviously, a busting event usually means that it's not playing out to expectations as what was forecasted, which is great. I mean, obviously, it's really good news. The models, like I said, once again, this is a prime example of how inaccurate these models can be sometimes and how much trust you should not put into them. So exactly what my point here. But anyways, we are seeing a few storms now. I'm not saying that nothing's going to happen here. The reason why we're live is if something does happen, we got you covered. You know, that's the reason why we're live for you guys today. I want to keep you guys protected. I want to keep you guys safe and obviously prepared for the worst. It's definitely better to be prepared for the worst than be underprepared. Because the more prepared you are, the better chances you have of making it through. So anyways, regardless though, but we are seeing some storms that is currently firing off here at the moment. Let's go ahead and see. We have ourselves, like I said, we're looking at ourselves here. Some more comments coming through here. First of all, let me see who is here. So obviously, Jenny, welcome. Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here. Brad is here as well. What's up, Brad? Richard says it's raining pretty good in Arizona. Well, glad to have you here. Hope you're doing good, Richard. And obviously, stay safe. Self-Care says good evening. What's up? Hope you're doing all right. We were expecting squall to come off Lake Erie at 4 o'clock. The cap shut that off. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what we've been watching here. And honestly, the latest models were kind of showing that happening later on. There's just too much of a cap, I believe, that's currently in effect here. I'll tell you what we can actually do. I'm going to pull up back the forecast models, take a look here back at the HRRR. Now, usually the models are not too good once you're inside the event. Yeah, obviously here's a good example of what we were talking about here. So obviously 8 o'clock. Here's something that's kind of interesting, though. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys here. So here's on the models. You know, honestly, yeah, there we go. So here's on the models according to the HRRR model. So you can kind of see this big old line that's forming here. This is for 00Z, which is 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. You can actually see how it continues to move its way down to the southeast. Kind of showing for 02, which that would be 10 o'clock Eastern. But anyway, so in regard to things, you know, the models, this is the latest HRRR model, or one of the, let's see, we're actually going to update this. I think this is a little bit behind here, too. Yeah, definitely more than a little bit behind. But anyways, in regard to things, yeah, I mean, honestly, you can see a big difference between those two different runs. I mean, honestly, like I said, here for 00Z, it was showing beforehand that we were seeing this big old line of storms that was supposed to be firing off, and now it's not, because there is a pretty strong cap that is in place here. You can actually see how it's mostly gridlocked. If you see these like big slices through it, that's basically telling us that we have a pretty high cap that's there. And a cap is, think of it as like a blanket, you know. Thunderstorms, they like to rise. You know, they rise up into the atmosphere, and if you have a blanket that's holding them down, they're not going to be able to initiate, because basically they're being held down. They're basically suffocating. So what is going on right now is that we have a big old block, like a big roadblock that's currently going on here in the atmosphere, basically preventing these storms from firing off. So we have plenty of moisture, plenty of instability. All the ingredients are there, but you know, obviously the atmosphere is like, no, you can't form right here. So obviously that's kind of what we're watching out now. Now, obviously it would be possible that we could actually see, maybe a few isolated storms that might break the cap. It's possible. Like I said, obviously, you know, that's kind of what we're talking about. You know, like I said, the cap is basically, like I said, that blanket that's holding the atmosphere that's preventing, basically, it's a warm air inversion, which I'm sure you guys don't know what that means. But it's basically a big spike in hot temperatures in the upper atmosphere. And you need to get colder the higher you go up, and it's getting hotter the higher you go up. At least for the start, it's preventing these storms from actually firing off. So, but yeah, we have plenty of moisture, plenty of instability here, but you know, honestly, this is actually really good news. You know, I'm making it seem like it's not good news, but it is good news because, like I said, obviously these storms are having a hard time firing off. If there wasn't a cap, there could be a little bit more destruction. And honestly, that's a good thing. You know, we don't want to deal with any destruction, so obviously, you know, that's kind of what we're talking about here. Let's see here. While this event continues to burst, I'm getting some light rain over here in my area. Okay, got you covered there. Let's see here. ERXCA, says, hey, I think that's how you pronounce it. What's up? Hope you're doing good. Do I expect the cap to come off? You know, honestly, it's going to be very, very difficult for these storms to actually start to fire off here soon. Reason is, a good example is the sun. We just looked at the actual satellite view. You can see right here, the sun's already starting to go down across portions of the northeast into the mid-Atlantic. Won't be too long before the Ohio Valley starts to get the sun starting to set. You know, obviously, with that being said, you know, we need the temperatures at the surface to rise. You know, we need them to get, you know, more hot and not cold like what happens at nighttime. So obviously, I think this is only going to help the cap and the fact of making it stronger. So it's really, really hard to tell. Now, like I was mentioning before, it's possible that a few isolated pockets of broken cap could occur. Like that's kind of what's happening right now. You can look and see how it's just really, really broken. We do have a few storms near Columbus, but right now, yeah, these guys are not severe. These guys are currently not severe at all. Once again, just north of Columbus here for the most part, driving through Cincinnati as well, into portions here, basically in southern Indiana for the most part. But anyways, with that being said, these guys are not currently severe, at least from what I'm seeing now. This says 3 warnings in effect, but my program here is saying that there's none. So I don't know what's happening. It might be just a program glitch. But anyways, regardless though, but like I said, that's just kind of something we are going to watch out here for. Let's go ahead and see. We got some more comments coming through here. Jazzy Mom saying, hello, Andrew, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Stay safe. You too, Jazzy Mom. Thank you for joining us today. And obviously, thank you for being here. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Let's see here. I live in Western New York, and there has been nothing going on around here except for some wind. Radar is clear, says... yeah, so Jackie, I think it said Jackie. Well, anyways, that's, like I said, we were expecting, we still have this risk here for some storms. It's possible that it's a scenario, I'd say it's an unlikely scenario that the cap could break as it reaches over these regions. Honestly, I'm starting to lose my hope of these storms really starting to fire off here. But like I was saying, it's definitely great news. So we got some more comments coming through here. Gore says, hi, what's up? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here. Jenny says, Andrew, well, let's head to the D.C. area. So in regard to things, D.C. obviously would be getting this cold front here. So yes, it will be passing through the area likely early tomorrow morning. It looks like it's going to be passing through the area likely tomorrow morning. But will this bring severe weather for D.C.? It's not expected to. So I think you're going to be fine in regard to severe weather. Now, is it possible you could get a little bit of rain and maybe some thunder? Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. You do have a thunderstorm risk across portions here of the D.C. area, the D.C. metro area. But in regards to severe thunderstorms, organized severe thunderstorms are more to the south, where this this dark green shade is. This is that marginal risk here for severe weather, that level 1 out of 5. Obviously, the higher the level, the worse it gets. Now, but regardless of what level it is, it's still considered a severe threat. But for you specifically, though, yeah, as of now, you're not currently under any risk here for severe storms. Like I said, obviously, as we track our way down here from today into tomorrow, you're going to be right there. You know, the cold front's definitely moving through it. You're going to notice those temperatures really dropping down, but that's kind of what we're talking about. Galaxy says tornado possible in Arizona. So I'm guessing, Galaxy, that it's my program that's freaking out here. Let's see. Let's actually take a look at some of these cells that's currently happening here across the way. You said that there's one currently going on. Is it this guy right here? If you pull up the velocity scan here, obviously it's a little bit tricky to see here. Anyways, but we'll keep an eye on it here. Let's go and take a look here back up towards St. George and the areas surrounding here. But that is what we're looking at. So here's what's also happening. So like I said, obviously these areas, though, they do not have a tornado possibility. You know, that tornado chance is less than 2%. So the overall chances of these areas, like Utah and Idaho, of getting a tornado is slim to none. I mean, literally nearly none. The chances of that happening is honestly not really expected. Let's see here. Galaxy says, no, it's just south. Okay, so I got you. But anyway, so if we take a look here back at our other view, like I was saying, this is our other area of quote-unquote severe weather we're going to watch out here for. Let's see. Theodore says, when are you talking about Invest 98L in Atlantic Basin next week? So I'm going to briefly touch up on that. So there is a system that's tracking its way here through the Windward Islands, obviously possibly going into the Gulf of Mexico down in time. Now there's still a lot of uncertainties here. You know, since we're on the subject, I'll go ahead and just bring it up here really quickly. We're going to go ahead and switch on back here to my main screen because, yeah, this is something else we got to really watch out for here in the upcoming time here. So we actually have 99L, which this guy is, you know, not really a concern as of right now. I'm not concerned about 99L as of now, but we'll watch it. We'll keep an eye on it. But 98L, this is the one I'm really kind of concerned about. This guy is just located on the southern Leeward Islands here, or the southern Windward Islands here for the most part. But in regard to track, the hurricane models are in, I wouldn't say really bad disagreement. They're in disagreement, but, you know, honestly, but it's kind of interesting to see here. But anyways, in regard to things, look at this. So obviously here's the spaghetti model you guys are used to probably seeing if you look at your TV station and you watch you know, the hurricane tracks. So this is basically individual models that's showing this. Now obviously the median point, the middle track does have this thing going through the Southern Caribbean and possibly down the line. This is hour 168, several days out. I believe that's, let's see, how many days is that? So 168 divided by 24. 168 divided by 24. That is equivalent to 7 days. So that's a week out. So at that week march, or at that week part, I should say, that's kind of where it could be tracking into the Gulf of Mexico. But still, that's very far out. I mean, this is still very, very much unknown. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't trust it past this point right here. This is where I'd have a decent understanding. This is still a big question mark. So honestly, right now, yes, it's something we should keep our eyes on, but no, nothing we should worry about as of right now. I mean, honestly, honestly, I'm not really concerned about this as of now, but it could become something we might need to watch out for. I mean, intensity models do have this thing strengthening, so we're gonna need to watch it for a little bit. Anyways, let's go ahead and see here. Got some more comments coming through here. Good to be safe, not sorry. Anything could happen with Mother Nature when it comes to weather. Absolutely, yeah. Mother Nature is definitely very, very interesting. Let's go ahead and see here. We have ourselves some more. Well, it hits Pennsylvania. So in regard to, if you talk about the tropics or the severe weather, the tropics, no. As of right now, we're not talking anything like Hurricane Sandy. Yeah, as of right now, hurricanes, no. But in regard to Pennsylvania, it depends. I mean, you guys are under a risk here. Like I said, this is the current situation that's currently happening as of now. Okay, so we have our cold front that's moving through, driving a few isolated storms, very isolated storms. Now, these guys are definitely, you know, honestly, these guys in regard to what is happening right now is not doing so good, but this is good for our side of things. And we have a few storms near Columbus. This is where the cold front is located, right around in these areas now. But anyways, tracking its way here to the east for the most part. But like I was saying, obviously, in regard to that, you know, for Pennsylvania, I mean, it's possible. You know, honestly, it's definitely possible we could see a pop-up, you know, flare, a few severe to strong storms pop up across portions of Pennsylvania. I mean, you guys are at risk, but like I said, you know, there's a big cap inversion. There's a big old blanket, per se. in the atmosphere that's basically preventing thunderstorms from occurring. Like I was saying, thunderstorms like to rise. They start off towards the ground and they start to rise. And obviously, if you have a blanket over top of it, it can't rise. It's basically suffocating these storms. So these storms are having a very hard time tonight actually trying to form. They're actually having a very, very hard time trying to, form here. So, anyways, but in regard to that, so we're just watching this. I mean, if anything does pop up, we're definitely going to let you guys know. That's the reason why we're here in regard to things. So, you know what? We'll just see. We'll definitely just see what happens, Definitely is something that we are going to absolutely monitor here over the next little bit. But anyways, my friends, like I said, thank you all so much for joining us here for today. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day here so far. If we go ahead and zoom in into portions of the Ohio region, taking a look here at the satellite view, you are going to notice on the lower level water vapor scans that we have a little bit of stuff popping off here. Let's go ahead and switch on over to that screen here. So, if you take a look at it, obviously here is the beautiful state of Ohio. But obviously we are seeing, these blues showing a little bit of moisture here at the lower levels. Basically showing that we have a little bit of convection that's ongoing here, pretty weak for the most part. Infrared scan would show this a lot better. So a few pop-up showers, maybe a little bit of stormage going on here, but like I said, there's a big old cap. There's a lot of hard, these storms are really having a hard time forming here. And if you pull up the cap here, you can actually really see along that front, according to RAP analysis, that we are actually seeing a very, very strong cap, a very, very big blanket that's currently over this cold front here, basically preventing these storms from firing off in Ohio, which, this is really good news. I mean, this is really good news. But if you look at the opposite, and that being instability, we have tons of it. Tons and tons of energy there. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. Anyways, let's go ahead and see here. Bobby wanting to know, is anything going to happen in Washington, Pennsylvania? So, in regard to Washington, Pennsylvania, like I said, I don't know exactly where Washington's at. I'm trying to find it. We're going to switch on back here to my main screen. You should know the state of Pennsylvania for the most part. You should know exactly where you are. Here's obviously the entire state. The dark green is a level 1 out of 5 for severe storms. Level 1 out of 5, like I said, obviously the higher the level, the more severe it gets. There's better of a stronger, and a better chance of seeing severe storms in northwestern portions of Pennsylvania. So for the most part, yes, Pennsylvania does have a lot of severe possibilities. But like I was saying, that cap is very strong. And since the sun is actually going down, like I was saying, since the sun is actually going down, this is only going to help that cap and help that blanket by being a lot more stronger. I mean, like I was saying, this is basically bringing down, you need those temperatures at the surface to rise when there's a cap and not drop, because obviously right now the sun is going down, the temperatures are going to start to fall, which I'm sure they're already starting to, and that's only going to help make the cap stronger. I'm trying to get this in the best perspective to explain it to people who don't understand what a cap is. Basically, a big blanket that's preventing storms from forming. Okay, once again, it's a blanket that prevents storms from forming. Basically, a little area of hot temperatures up across the upper levels of the atmosphere, or the lower levels of the atmosphere. But anyways, regardless, though, with that being said, basically what's a result from this is storms are having a very hard time trying to fire off here. Now, but like I was mentioning before, I mean, we do have a little bit of shower activity that is currently happening here as of right now across portions of Columbus, Ohio. A little bit of storms, maybe a few rumbles of thunder might be occurring. I mean, we did look at the satellite view. I mean, we did see ourselves a little bit of stuff going on there for the most part. We have some of these storms actually tracking into portions of southern Indiana. Eventually could track their way into portions here of, obviously across portions here of Kentucky, which, like I said, obviously Kentucky does have, like I said, obviously, that, like I said, Kentucky does actually have a severe risk, especially across the northern edge there. Anyways, let's go and see here. Fall is beautiful. Absolutely. It really, really is. Let's see what else we got going on. More comments. Not Zach saying, hey, Andrew, what's up? Hope you're doing good. How's it going? Pretty good. Hope you're doing good. Anything crazy hitting off yet? As of now, no. Like I was explaining here just a second ago, storms are really struggling to fire off here. And like I said, since sunset's starting to occur, honestly, I really think that these things, this might be what we call a bust. This might be a bust event. The way it's leaning, it looks like it's a failing event and producing severe weather, which is great news. I mean, like I said, this is definitely very, very great news, and it goes to show you that models are not perfect, and I really showed you guys the difference there between the early models from today and the later models. I mean, it basically shut off a lot of stormage. which, honestly, by next update, I would not be surprised if they get rid of this slight risk. Honestly, I'm sure they're going to actually move this marginal east, and they're going to remove the slight risk. I believe that's what they're probably going to do here on the next update, which should come out in a little bit. But anyways, like I said, obviously that's kind of what's going on. Let's go ahead and see. We got ourselves, is there a tornado risk in West Virginia? So as of right now, for portions of West Virginia, there is not really a risk, or not really a tornado risk for any of the areas, but there is a little sliver that is in West Virginia, like West Liberty, Mingo Junction. Let's go see here. Portions of, like, as far north as East Liverpool. But so just a small little area, but the chances of a tornado falling in that area is slim to none, basically. I'd pretty much give that a 0% chance. Let's see here. Evan says, I wonder if they'll remove the 2% as well. I would say so. I mean, honestly, kind of hard telling. Because if you think, though, I mean, the cap is still there. That blanket that's preventing these storms from firing off is there, preventing these storms from happening. But the wind shear is still there. You got to think, the winds at different levels of the atmosphere allows for tornadoes to form. That's still there, regardless if there's a blanket or not. Now, what we call the cap. Now, if there's an isolated area where this cap gets lifted, if there's an isolated cap or isolated area where this cap gets lifted, say there's a little pocket of more instability and not much cap, a really weak blanket, and a storm does fire off in it, honestly, it would still not be impossible. But I will say that the chances are definitely decreasing. Earlier today, we did have that. In the beginning of today, we had a 2% risk that covered across a lot of the Ohio Valley, I believe even the portions in Indiana as well. And then obviously here for kind of the mid-today update, we actually did see a 5% actually got issued across portions of northeastern Ohio. And then just recently it actually got downgraded and moved east. So, like I said, obviously that's kind of what we're talking about here. Let's go ahead and see here. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on there. Let's go and see. Yeah, the wind shear is there. Yeah, the wind shear is still there, but, obviously the instability and the wind shear is there, but it's that blanket, that cap that we're talking about. That big blanket that's preventing these storms from forming. Now, like I said, if one did form, it could indeed do something. But that's kind of what we're talking about here. Let's see. Probability a tornado watch says SBC, EAS, West Virginia, weather alerts. So I'd say no. 0% chance of that happening. Honestly, like I said, this event is kind of on a downhill trend in regard to things. Like I said, we have this big old risk here, but like I was saying, there's just such a strong cap that's currently going on here at the moment. If we actually go ahead and pull this up here, I think, yeah, this shows that cap that's in effect here, I believe. If we can get it to actually load. There you go. So you can actually see so the blue is showing that blanket I was talking about. Basically showing a very, very strong cap that's currently there. So obviously with that being said, like I said, this is a very, very strong cap. You can see how we're really capped out here. I mean, we're talking negative hundreds. I mean, literally, you can have some storms fire off in, maybe the negative 15 or negative teens, I'd say. But honestly, like I was saying, though, for the most part, this is a very, very capped out area. Across the entire slight risk here, basically, if you look closely, the entire slight risk is basically capped out like crazy. Let me turn off my watch here. But anyway, so like I was saying, though, so that's really preventing these storms from firing off here. Now, across portions of the other risk towards Salt Lake, there is a little bit of capping going on, but there's obviously some areas where other storms can fire off here. But, like I said, this is obviously actually some good news for places towards the Ohio Valley into the northeast, which is definitely good. So, but like I was saying, guys, we just got to really, I just wanted to be live here just for a little bit to cover this, just to give you guys an update on this. We were planning to go live earlier because they did say that, okay, so the models were suggesting that these storms were going to fire off around the afternoon hours. So, which was obviously, okay, so that was kind of concerning, saying, hey, okay, we might have a few bad thunderstorms happening today. And then obviously next update that came through, obviously with that being said, the next update that came through basically, said, oh, well, it's going to be pushed out a little bit further. Okay, the models were like, okay, it's going to be a little bit later, now kind of around 7, 8 o'clock. And then now the latest models are like, well, it's possible of a few showers tonight past the midnight hours. It's like, I don't really think that this is going to do anything. If you ask for my opinion on this event, it's severely underperforming. It's severely, well over forecasted, but it is for a reason. Obviously it's good that they did put this forecast out there. The reason is because, yeah, all the ingredients are there, but there's one factor that's preventing these storms from firing off. And if they could fire off, then we could see some nasty stuff happen. That's kind of the thing here. And like I said, what my screen is showing right now is those negative values. That's not good for thunderstorms. That's, like I said, that's that big blanket. Think of a blanket over a thunderstorm. Thunderstorms, they have to rise. They have to go up, start warm, and they go up in that colder atmosphere. With this being said, the thunderstorm's rising and actually getting into warmer conditions, which is basically stable air, which is basically just a big blanket that's pushing down on these storms, preventing them to rise. So basically, like I was saying, in regard to what's happening here, honestly, it's not looking so good. So Proxy, if you're still here, for you specifically, there's a very strong cap located over Cleveland. So the chances of you getting any thunderstorm action over the next little bit, honestly, I'd say that your chances are mostly done. At least according to RAP analysis, like I was saying, towards Cleveland, we're seeing tons and tons of strong inversion going on here. A lot of strong inversions going on here. Very, very warm temperatures, a little bit up in the atmosphere. Warmer than they are here towards the surface, or a little bit above the surface. So honestly, that's kind of what we're talking about, which honestly is good news. I'm sure that you're probably going to be glad to hear that. It depends on if you like them or not. Let's see them. Now the models are like 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Evan, I think it's going to be pushed even further. And like I was saying, if you guys don't understand, what happens after nighttime occurs, or whenever sunset starts to happen, basically the cap becomes stronger, because the temperatures on the surface get colder and the warmer temperatures remain across those lower levels of the atmosphere, but not quite at the ground. So that's kind of what we're talking about. So, but anyways, I think this is not going to do much of anything, you guys. Honestly, I really don't even see why we need to be live here anymore today. Now, okay, so here's what I'm going to plan to do. Like I said, I have my girlfriend down here. She's going to be hanging out with us or tomorrow. She actually goes back to Florida. We're here in Kentucky right now. She's heading back to Florida tomorrow. But anyways, in regard to things, I really don't think we need to be covering much of this anymore. It's just not necessary. Like I said, obviously, we'll keep an eye on it. Now, say if the cap magically breaks and storms start getting ridiculous, we will be back. But as of right now, I'm not planning on it because I don't really think anything's really going to happen with this. Now, like I said, obviously it's looking a little bit better. So, but anyways, my friends, like I said, I think that's going to wrap it up here. We've only been live here for 45 minutes. Honestly, I was planning on being live here for a couple of hours. At least we give you guys a little bit of coverage just to kind of explain to what's happening here. Selfcare says, any hurricane updates? We can do a hurricane update if that's something you guys would like to do. You guys want me to do a hurricane update? Put 1 for yes and 2 for no, because like I said, we can do some hurricane updates in Fiona as well as 98, which we already went over that for the most part. But anyways, yeah, we are gonna actually go back over this here. Let's see here. Proxy with another $40. Holy cow, Proxy! Thank you so much. Saying thank you for the great weather news for Northeast Ohio. Andrew, you're very, very welcome. Thank you so much for that, Proxy. You are an absolute legend. Thank you absolutely so much for that. Huge shout out once again, my friends. That is greatly, greatly appreciated. Kevin wants to know, let's see here. Kevin is saying, if you're in a regular thunderstorm category risk, can you get tornadoes? It depends on the day. Now, there has been tornadoes in a non-severe weather risk here. Just going to show you that those risk areas are not necessarily perfect. But it depends on the day. It really just does. But Proxy, thank you so much for that. That's greatly appreciated. So it seems like everyone wants to go in the tropics again. Okay, so we're going to probably start off with the current system that's happening. This is Proxy. Proxy. I may have mistaken your name for a hurricane. Why did I say Hurricane Proxy? I don't think there's ever been a Hurricane Proxy. Hurricane Fiona. That was... Can't believe I did that. Anyway, so it's not Hurricane Proxy, it's Hurricane Fiona. Currently a beast of a system here. Currently actually a Category 4 storm that is ongoing there for the most part. But anyway, so in regard to things, we're going to go ahead and start off here with not Proxy. We're going to start off here with Fiona. Cross portions of the way here. So first thing we are going to look at, we're going to go ahead and switch on back here to the main screen here for a second. First thing we are going to look at is currently the satellite imagery that is ongoing here for the most part. You can actually see here, we are currently watching, the eye. Eye is actually was struggling there for a minute to keep its shape, but it looks like it's starting to get its way back here. Now it looks like it's actually really starting to kind of kick off here for the most part. But anyway, so that's kind of what's going on. This thing is tracking north, obviously. You can see how the grid is showing it tracking mostly to the north. You can maybe get a little bit more of a northeasterly kick. Now, this cold front that's sweeping its way through the region is obviously going to help push this thing more to the northeast eventually down in time, so that's kind of what we're looking at there. But anyway, so like I said, right now, current sustained winds of 130 miles per hour. Sustained winds of 130 miles per hour, which is nuts. Absolutely nuts. And we obviously are seeing some higher gusts, maybe up to around 150. So we are seeing some pretty nasty conditions out of this. Like I said, once again, this is a Category 4 storm. This is a very, very strong Category 4 storm that's ongoing here. Puxa says hurricane me. Proxy, I don't know why I said that. But anyway, so yeah, so that's what's going on with Fiona. In regard to the track here, here's the latest cone. Came out from the National Hurricane Center. Continue to be a major hurricane as it passes on the left-hand side here of Bermuda. Like I said, currently Bermuda does have some tropical storm warnings, as well as this pink showing hurricane watches. This could potentially be issued for hurricane warnings down in time, as this thing's going to be making a very close approach here to portions of western, or just west here of Bermuda. Now, like I said, the right-hand side of these storms are always worse. That's where the mixing layer is. That's where there's a lot more wind shear, a lot more stronger winds, and obviously, with that being said, also the possibility of a few tornadoes. But since the size of Bermuda is very, very small, the chances of one actually landing in Bermuda is pretty low, I should say. So, but anyway, so obviously Bermuda needs to watch out for this. This is a very, very serious event for Bermuda. So obviously, in regard to impacts, this thing is going to be making landfall or near approach. We're going to be live tomorrow by the coverage, okay? So we're probably going to be up late here tomorrow night. Basically from from late tomorrow, late Thursday, and the portions here of, early Friday. We're going to be live as this thing does move its way through the region. So be prepared for that, my friends. We're definitely going to be back on the tracks, but continue to be a major hurricane here until basically, actually remaining to be a hurricane all the way up into portions of eastern Canada. I want to say, is this Nova Scotia? I don't know. I'm very, very bad with geography, but this area right here, I want to say that's, I don't know, but this little this area of land, like I said, I'm very, very horrible with geography across the region here in Canada. But for Eastern Canada, this obviously is going to be bringing a huge amount of concerns for possibly the region there. The wind field is going to be absolutely large. A lot of swelling could possibly occur for a lot of these areas here, so that's definitely something to watch out. Once again, sustained winds of 130 currently happening as of right now. But anyway, so on the like I said, that's currently what is happening there. So in regard to, like I said, the main track, they're in very much solid agreement. In very, very much solid agreement that is ongoing across the way there. Intensity has this thing kind of hovering around the same, maybe possibly getting, if not, kind of hovering for the most part. Maybe a little bit stronger, but we don't expect this thing to get up to Category 5. None of the models do suggest it. But anyway, so this thing is going to track its way up here basically to the north, like I was saying. But then obviously the intensity is going to really fall after that second day mark. As we move into Friday, let's see, into Friday here, we're going to start to see that thing really start to drop in intensity. So that's definitely good news. But yeah, so honestly, that's kind of what's going on in regards to the system here with Fiona. Now we do have ourselves 98L. Now this one is going to need to be watched. There's a lot of unknowns at this point here. So there is another disturbance that's currently ongoing here. This is 98L. There's a lot of, I'd say decent agreement in regard to the models here. We are basically seeing, this thing track its way to the northwest. It's currently located just south of the Windward Islands, tracking its way up here to the northwest, and kind of just, puzzling its way through. And possibly, like I said, this 168-hour mark, that's 1 week out, which it's kind of not really easy to forecast 3 days out. So, but with that being said, like I was mentioning before, honestly, I'd say at maximum, this is a possibility. But what happens after that is still a huge unknown. So like I said, that's still a huge, huge, huge unknown. So this is going to definitely be monitored. This is nothing to freak out as of now. Like I said, some people are nervous this things could hit portions of the United States, but who knows? It could track into Mexico. It could, honestly, maybe not develop as good as we thought it was. But so like I said, there's still a lot of questions on the table. It's still something we definitely have got to watch out for in regard to things here. Once again, in intensity, though, it does show a lot of the models are supporting some definite, like I said, obviously, the models are definitely supporting some rapid intensification, especially after that 84, 96-hour mark, basically past the day 4 and higher. So honestly, that's kind of Interesting there. So, but anyways, we'll just continue watching it. I mean, obviously, it's not really anything extremely, immediate of a concern as of now. There's still a lot that can happen to it. Let's see, 99L, I think. Yeah, this one's not really too much concerning either. This guy, 1010 millibar. Really not much happening with this guy. Yeah, look how spaced out all these models are. The ensembles are. No hurricane models for this guy. There's a few of them tracking its intensity, but that's still way too early. Not that much data coming through here. But with Fiona, look at that pressure, 937 millibars. That's actually really, really crazy. But anyways, so that's kind of what's going on there, my friends. I just want to do a quick little update there on that for you. Like I said, we were going to do the models here. I mean, they are running a little bit slow today for some reason. According to GFS, you can kind of see there's that tropical cyclone heading into the Gulf. Now, like I said, just because it has it hitting portions of Alabama, this is, once again, you see how far away this is? This is literally 264 hours out. This is over a week out. It's impossible to figure out if this thing will hit that region or not. So, GFS, very, very wonky right now. Don't trust this at all. 0% chance that this will play out, to be exact. Anyways, but regardless, though, like I said, obviously, with that being said, I mean, that's according to the models in regard to GFS. We have ECMWF kind of showing, let's see, what is ECMWF? Oh, I'm trying to get as much. Yeah, so ECMWF actually has this thing hitting portions of Florida, which is definitely kind of interesting here. And then we have ourselves, let's see here, we have another one coming through, CMC model. Yeah, these ones don't usually go as far. Like I said, obviously, the reason it's doing that is because, there's a little bit of, yeah, the site's been being a little slow today. But anyways, with that being said, though, I mean, look at this. We are actually seeing, this guy track his way, once again, towards the Gulf. So, like I said, don't freak out about this. This is still very, very far out. These models are still in a decent amount of disagreement. As we just now have seen, this one doesn't go out as far. Maybe the previous run does. I think it goes a little bit more further. I don't think it's... yeah, there you go. You can see it down there. But that's as far as it goes. But anyway, so yeah, that's in regard to the models. I mean, we did look at a few of them there. But anyway, so that's kind of what's happening, my friends. Let's try 98L in regard to this view here. This only goes out 126 hours. But you can obviously see, yeah, rapid development. I mean, honestly, I'd say possibly tomorrow this thing could become a tropical storm to what's kind of forecasted here. Obviously, tracking its way up here to the northwest. And that's kind of where the model ends. But anyway, so that's kind of what's happening there. Proxy wanting to know if there's anything happening in the Pacific. There is. Actually, there is a few things we are watching here. Let me pull back over here to the GFS model really quickly. And we'll pull up the Western, or the Eastern Pacific, I should say. So there is currently the few possibilities of something happening. Yeah, there's that one system here down in time. Now, with the National Hurricane Center's outlook in regard to portions of the Eastern Pacific, there is 15E, current tropical depression that's expected to possibly get into a tropical storm here, possibly by tomorrow. Honestly, maybe even like really early tomorrow. Anyways, but that's kind of that's kind of what we're looking at. Definitely kind of a weird cone. I mean, look at that. Look how weird that cone of uncertainty actually is, which is a little bit odd. But expected to track westward, not really impacting anywhere. So. Not concerned about it, but like I was saying though, with in regard to the Atlantic, yeah, we have a lot of activity. Actually, just now starting to notice another system potentially that could be heading in. Yeah, so look at that. So the Atlantic is definitely heating up here now. We are officially kind of towards peak hurricane season. But look at this. So obviously this one, disturbance 1, is that one we got to really watch out for down the line. Fiona, we got to watch out for Bermuda, once again. Gaston, this guy is just kind of doing its own little thing. I mean, if you look at it, it's kind of a little bit odd. Which, the forecast cone, it has it going to the northeast and then just kind of wrapping back in and going back. So, not concerned. Not concerned about that for the most part. But anyway, so that's kind of what's going on there, my friends. That is kind of what we are seeing here. But yeah, that's kind of what it's looking like here. One more thing I want to do before we head off here is I want to look at the estimated time of arrival, or ETA, of the winds from Hurricane Fiona towards Bermuda. Because like I was saying, obviously with that being said, Bermuda is likely going to get slammed here. So it's kind of showing... Very, very difficult to see that, but it looks okay. So all times are in Eastern Daylight Time, by the way. So this is basically... right now it would be 8:55 for Bermuda time. So they're an hour ahead of of our time here. But anyway, so it kind of shows, yeah, that little speck right there is Bermuda. I'd say it looks like late Thursday, so late tomorrow is when we're going to start to see that. Like I was saying, late tomorrow into early Friday, we are actually going to be live, across the way there. But anyway, so that's kind of what's going on there. Tropical storm force winds expected to go into portions of eastern Canada as well. This could be a quite impactful system. I'm not going to lie with you guys. I mean, we just might need to keep an eye on this here for the next little bit. There we go. So there's a better one to look at. It kind of looks like towards the kind of the early evening hours tomorrow is when we're going to start to see possible tropical storm force winds. But like I said, as we track into the overnight hours here, possibly on Friday, we could see those tropical storm force winds turn into hurricane force winds. Like I said, there's currently tropical storm warnings in effect for Bermuda, as well as a hurricane watch that is currently in effect here. But anyway, so that's kind of what's going on there, my friends. All right, so I think that's going to go ahead and wrap it up here for today. Thank you all so much for joining us. Like I said, the reason we're ending it right now is because there is a big old cap that's in place here. This event is severely underperforming than what was expected, which is great news. Definitely am very, very glad to see it. Once again, thank you so much to Proxy for helping out the channel. It's greatly, greatly appreciated. Proxy, thank you absolutely so much for all that you've done for the channel. Big, big shout out goes to you guys. Obviously, thank you for all of our mods. Thank you, Jenny, for being here. Definitely glad to have you here, Jenny. You're an early supporter, so it's definitely glad to have you here. And just thank you for being a part of the channel. Obviously, thank all of you guys for being here for today. It's greatly, greatly appreciated. You guys absolutely rock. Will I be live all night for the hurricane? I do plan on being live here for most of it. I definitely do plan on being live here for most of it. Absolutely. Anyways, let's go see. I was going to ask a question, but next time, I guess, my good sir. All right, sounds good, Anti-Spiral. Thank you so much for being here, my friends. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Self-Care says, thank you. You're very, very welcome, every single one of you guys. You are very, very much welcome. And obviously, like I said, if you have any questions, you guys, feel free to reach out to me on our Discord. Join our Discord down below in the description, as well as, obviously, check a look at our website, nww16.org. I still have to update it tonight, which we'll get to in a little bit. But anyways, well, once again, thanks for everyone. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you for hanging out with us here for today. And I think that's going to do it for tonight. I'm going to go ahead and hang out with my girlfriend. Unfortunately, she leaves tomorrow, which is kind of sad. So another reason why we're probably going to head off here for now. But like I was saying, if anything really starts to kind of take off, if we see like multiple tornado warnings, which I don't think is going to happen, if we start to see like a lot of stuff happening, then we'll probably go back live for you. But right now, pretty much dead silent, and I expect it to honestly continue to be silent as the sun is currently setting. So obviously, with that being said, the temperature is going to start dropping at the surface, basically helping, preventing everything from more storms firing off here. But anyways, all right, my friends, thank you all so much for being here. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night. We're going to go ahead and switch on over here to the ending screen. The stream is going to end in approximately 5 minutes, so that way you guys can say goodbye to your friends and everything like that. Say your final goodbyes here, and obviously as a thank you to you guys can hang out for a little bit longer. But all right, my friends, thank you all so much for being here. Greatly, greatly appreciated. You all absolutely rock. And I will catch you all here in the next one. Peace out, you guys.
Eastern Daylight Time. This is NOAA Weather Radio WWG57 originating from the National Weather Service Forecast Office in Cleveland. We supply the latest available information for the Central Highlands over station WWG57 from Butler on a frequency of 162.450 megahertz. On the latest weather map, strong cold front pushes across the region this evening with a reinforcing cooler surge arriving on Thursday. A Canadian high-pressure system will be in control into the early weekend. Low-pressure system Saturday night and day. The forecast for the Central Highlands. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a chance of thunderstorms. A chance of showers. Lows in the mid-50s. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, becoming northwest after midnight. Chance of rain 30%. Thursday, partly sunny. Much cooler. Less humid with highs in the lower 60s. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy. Colder with lows in the lower 40s. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, partly cloudy in the morning, then becoming mostly sunny. Highs in the lower 60s. North winds around 5 miles per hour. Friday night, mostly cloudy. Lows in the mid-40s. Northeast winds around 5 miles per hour, becoming southeast after midnight. Saturday, partly sunny. Highs in the mid-60s. Saturday night, partly cloudy in the evening, then becoming mostly cloudy. Lows in the lower 50s. The extended forecast for the Central Highlands. Sunday, partly sunny. A chance of showers in the afternoon. Highs in the upper 60s. Chance of rain 50%. Sunday night, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers. Lows in the lower 50s. Chance of rain 50%. Monday, partly cloudy. A chance of showers in the afternoon. Highs in the lower 60s. Chance of rain 40%. Monday night, partly cloudy. A chance of showers in the evening. Lows in the mid-40s. Chance of rain 40%. Tuesday, partly cloudy. A chance of showers in the afternoon. Highs in the lower 60s. Chance of rain 30%. Tuesday night, partly cloudy. A chance of showers in the evening. Cold with lows in the lower 40s. Chance of rain 30%. Wednesday, partly cloudy. Highs around 60. The Mansfield, Ohio climate summary for this evening, as of 5:15 p.m., September 21, 2022. Today's high temperature was 86 degrees. The normal high is 73. The record high is 91 degrees, which was set in 1931. Today's low temperature was 63 degrees. The normal low is 52. The record low is 24 degrees, which was set in 1956. 0.35 inches of precipitation fell today. No snow fell today, which brings the monthly total to 0.0 inches. The total snowfall since July 1st still stands at 0.0 inches. Sunset tonight is at 7:29 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow is at 7:18 a.m. At 7 p.m., weather reports for selected cities. At Mansfield Lawn Regional Airport, it was clear. The temperature was 78 degrees, the dew point 65, and the relative humidity 63%. The wind was southwest, at 7 miles an hour. The pressure was 29.84 inches and steady. Elsewhere across Ohio, at Toledo Express, it was clear, with a temperature of 84. It was partly cloudy, with a temperature of 78 at Lorain, 80 at Worcester, and 82 at Marion. Under partly cloudy skies, Cleveland reported 82, Akron-Canton Regional Airport reported 82, and Findlay reported 83. It was mostly cloudy, with a temperature of 81 at Youngstown, 89 at Dayton, and 85 at Columbus. At Cincinnati, it was cloudy, with a temperature of 85. Reports from nearby cities outside Ohio. At Pittsburgh, it was partly cloudy, with a temperature of 80. It was mostly cloudy, with a temperature of 82 at Detroit, 76 at Buffalo, and 86 at Indianapolis.